A question arises here. Did God create earth without form and void? The two terms emphasize each other, for earth is not only without form, but it is also void, that is, empty of form? Or was earth without form and void to begin with, and did the process of creation begin from there? Everything depends on how the first verse in the Bible is interpreted. One might assume that the first verse is a simple declarative statement: in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And there it all was, without form and void, created so out of nothing. Or we might assume that the first verse is a mere introductory summary, almost a chapter heading, the creation of the heaven and the earth, then there follows the actual description of how it was done. Modern scholars seem to think the second interpretation is the more likely. The Anchor Bible, published in 1964, begins Genesis thus: when God set about to create heaven and earth, the world being then a formless waste. This would make it seem that the raw material of the world was there all along, and that God's role in the creation was that of shaping the raw material of the universe into the finished form, much as a potter shapes the raw clay into a vessel. In fact, the metaphor is used in the Bible: but now, O Lord, thou art our Father, we are the clay, and thou art potter, and we all are the work of thy hand. Isaiah 64 verse 8. This was the Greek view too, for in their mythology, there was chaos, meaning disorder, in the beginning of things. All the material out of which the world was formed was randomly mixed, and creation consisted in imposing order, cosmos, upon it. This is not too far different from some aspects of the scientific view of creation. If we confine ourselves to the solar system, the present view of scientists is that it was formed from a vast cloud of dust and gas. It is easy to see that the original cloud of dust and gas represents matter in complete disorder and is an approach to chaos. As the cloud slowly swirled, its own gravitational field drew it together, causing it to whirl faster and faster in accordance with the law of conservation of angular momentum. Most of the matter finds its way into the central core, becoming the sun, but turbulence produces secondary, much smaller concentrations that make up the planets, including Earth. Tertiary, still smaller concentrations form the satellites. Certainly, we see here cosmos arising out of chaos, order out of disorder. The solar system is not, however, all there is to the universe. Our Sun, with its attendant planets, is only one such object out of a few 100 billion which, taken together, form a flattened, whirling disk of stars, called the galaxy. Scientists think that the entire galaxy, and each of 100 billion or so other galaxies, was formed out of a whirling cloud of dust and gas 100 billion times as massive as the one out of which our single solar system was formed. There again, it would seem that order is formed out of disorder, as a mass of swirling gas and dust without form and void breaks up into billions upon billions of individual stars, many or most of them with planetary systems, presumably, though for this we do not yet have direct evidence. This chaos into cosmos progression, the biblical tale of creation and the scientific view, is something they have in common. Darkness is a symbol of chaos. Let the darkness fall, particularly in a strange place, and we no longer have the benefit of order. We do not know where anything is, and we must stumble and grope as though chaos had come again. This, too, fits the scientific view, in a way, for the original cloud of dust and gas out of which the solar system was formed, or the larger clouds out of which the galaxies were formed, was dark. The word is printed in italics in the King James Version. This does not have the usual indication of emphasis that italics often do. In endeavoring to translate each Hebrew word of the original Bible into English, there are occasions when additional English words had to be added to make sense. Thus the Hebrew words, literally translated, would be, and darkness upon the face of the deep, in English, has to be added, and it is italicized to indicate that it does not stand for any word in the original. Later English translations of the Bible did not display the exaggerated respect for the literal Hebrew words, and showed no embarrassment at having to add words to make English sense. In this commentary, therefore, the italicizations of the King James Version will be ignored. Another symbol of chaos is the deep, that is, the ocean. Compared to the dry land surface upon which human beings live, the ocean is a random tumble of matter, always moving and heaving and, in the course of a storm, raging with a power incomparably greater than anything human beings could control. The word spirit is the translation of the Hebrew word ruach, which means breath. It is from the Latin spiritus, which means a breath, and we find it as such in the English respiration. The phrase Spirit of God is therefore the breath of God. God is viewed by the writers as the most immaterial thing with which they are acquainted, invisible, impalpable air. In the scientific view, air is as material as water, soil, or metal. The breath of God and wind blew over the waters, and that is all that is left, in this account, of the cosmic battle between the principles of order and chaos.